So the next step is, I was going to suggest to avoid seeing the pendulum stop entirely over here after frame 75. That's the last frame that you have set on the timeline. Go back to that time configuration and set this end time to 75, and that way you don't have to be seeing anything after that frame, especially since it stops there, because it might look odd that the pendulum all of a sudden freezes over time. Okay, so once you have established, you know, the pattern for swing there, now you have to work on the other notes. We have this one that controls pretty much this movement, and then this one controls the second joint, and this one controls the third joint. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to undo what I just did, go back to frame 0, and I'm going to start by setting a keyframe over there. Why do I want to start always a keyframe on 0? To have a starting position on everything that you start animating. It's always good to have a neutral position, or you know, a position where you haven't added animation yet, because that way you can always go back to it and refine anything. It's much easier than figuring out how to set the character back again, or the subject back again into starting position. Okay, so having done that, you have now your keyframe. Let's see when it starts going down, creating that arc. There it is. It would be normal for the pendulum to start shifting this way, right? Because as the base goes on you know, turns towards the left, everything will kind of drag. So let's see when it stops. It was somewhere here around 16. So when it stops around 16, I'm going to just set a frame here so that I create a little bit of rotation here on that joint. Okay, and let's see how it looks. It doesn't have much drag, right? But not yet, because remember, we're working with from the top bottom. You can always start adding more keyframes to the others if you would like. This, my personal preference, it will be to start on the top. Okay, let's make that on frame 16 a little bit more radical, like maybe like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna set the key. Let's see if it shows a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Once it turns, what happens there? Starts turning, and then it will make sense that it will start going back again as it goes towards the other position, right? So it drags to the right, and right there on frame 16, what you might see instead of what we just did is a little bit higher of a drag. Okay, but what happens is we already set keys for the pendulum to drag this way. So let's edit that by moving this guy over here a little bit closer, and on frame 16 let's make it go a little bit higher. Okay, and let's see how it looks. Set a key and let's see how it looks. It drags towards the right, and when it reaches highest point it should go up. Okay, let's take those two guys and move them a little bit forward right there. So let's put maybe 5 frames between each other, and let's see how it looks now. Drags, and then when it reaches, starts to look a little bit more natural, because as it reaches the highest rotation point on the base, then it kind of drags the other part, but the other part will respond a little